Wake up, everyone. It's Friday. Let's see. Get myself all situated here. There we go. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, the 27th of August. I can't believe August is almost over. I feel like it just started. And we're already heading into the Labor Day weekend. How did that happen, right? I'll give you guys all a moment to join in, but it's so nice to see you all. I am Dr. Trisha Pingle, and this is your Friday live Q&A, streaming both live on Instagram and Facebook. So if you have any trouble at all seeing me or hearing me, you can always check out the other platform. I do also repost this. So let me give you the quick rundown of some of the articles that were posted this week, some of the discussions that are posted on my page, and then let's jump into our Q&A. So start thinking of your questions. All right, do I have anyone over there on Facebook this morning? There we go. Good morning. All right. I see all of you on Instagram scrolling through. Good morning. Drpingle.com. If you haven't been there this week, I posted on composting, which is something that my husband and I have tried numerous times. We compost, we do it for a while, and then we kind of, life happens and we kind of forget, and then we go back to it, and we have this huge composter in our backyard. And one of the things that I really want to get better at is composting and adding it to my garden. So I decided an article was timely on that, so I posted that. Also posted an article on ways to increase your metabolism. Yeah, we all want to know that, right? Bet you can guess that exercise is in that list, right? And also healthy back to school tips for your kids, right? I think, I know here in Arizona, we've been back to school already now for, almost a month. But I know many of you kids are heading back to school after Labor Day, right? So lots of them wondering how to keep them healthy, how to pack them healthy snacks. So one of my videos this week was in regards to that. What am I drinking? Right now I'm drinking the ashwagandha. It's like half coffee, half ashwagandha cup of, coffee with the homemade coconut cashew creamer. I make my own coffee creamer with my almond cow that I love. If you guys don't know what an almond cow is, Google it. It's amazing. So I do half a cup of coconut, half a cup of cashew, and then a little bit of maple syrup and a little tiny bit of vanilla extract, and blend it up in the almond cow. And that is what I put in my coffee, or my ashwagandha coffee, or whatever you want to call it. So it does have a little bit of caffeine in it, but it also has ashwagandha. So it's kind of a nice little blend. So anyway, good morning, my friend Carrie. Oh, hey, speaking of, I am actually going to take a very impromptu trip next week, and I am not sure how that's going to impact my life. At the very least, there'll be something posted, I promise. If I can do it live, I will. If I can't, you know what? To be honest, guys, there's a lot of value in doing social media breaks, removing yourself from your cell phone, removing yourself from technology for a few days, and that's honestly my plan. My job obviously requires me to be here to answer questions and whatnot, and I will do the best that I can, but I'm going to kind of back away as much as possible so that I can just have a few days where I can stare at the beach and breathe in the ocean, which, my goodness, has been a long time since I've been able to do. I haven't been to the beach forever. I guess with all the restrictions, we just didn't travel much last year. We figured, but I had an opportunity to go to the beach, so I took it. So hopefully you guys will understand, and maybe I will be here. Let's play it by ear. Sound good? All right, good. Hello, good afternoon from Georgia. Oh, it is afternoon there, huh? Yes, morning here. So this is live Q&A. If you've never been here before, but you can ask any question you want. Go ahead, go for it. I am a naturopathic physician here in the state of Arizona. My website, drpingle.com, has a ton of resources, recipes. I have some awesome stuff coming up too. Benefits of kiwi. Anyone like kiwi? You wouldn't think of that one, right? I love kiwi. Used to eat it like crazy when I was a kid. That's another great thing to give your kids in their lunchbox. Kiwi. Kiwi's fun, it's not fun to peel, but it's fun. Have some different articles coming up, benefits of nature. I've got some on preservatives in your food, some interesting articles coming out this next month. So keep a look out. Thank you. I will have fun and I will rejuvenate. What is the best way to pass a 4mm kidney stone? Oh man, I am so sorry. Those are awful. Definitely worse than childbirth, passing a kidney stone. There's a couple different things. I mean, one, time, right? And that's probably what you've been told. Drink lots of water, take pain meds, and time. And that is, it will happen eventually. It will come out eventually. There is a herbal blend, though, you can definitely talk to your doctor about. It's usually pretty readily available. I mean, it's at Whole Foods, it's at Sprouts, and it's something called Stonebreaker. And it's an herb, that's the common name for the herb, but it's an herb that helps break the stone into smaller pieces so that as it's passing in smaller pieces as opposed to bigger pieces. So that may be an option. It also helps increase your urinary flow to move it through. So stone breaker herb. So talk to your doctor about that. That's really been my best advice in addition to time. And then definitely make sure when you get the stone that you look at it and save it, so that they can look at it under a microscope and find out what type of stone it is, because then there's a ton of preventative stuff you can do to prevent future stones if you know whether it's calcium, magnesium, uric acid. So you want to kind of get that composition because then you can come up with better preventative treatment moving forward, so you don't have to go through this horrible thing again. Hang in there, Brian. That is awful. Kidney stones are no fun. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Jamie. Thank you. I am enthusiastic, aren't I? It's Friday. Fry-yay, as my kids say. Every Friday they wake up, it's Fry-yay. I'm like, okay. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I got to scroll back a bit. Sorry about that. All right. Hello, Dr. Pingle. Hello, Nessie. How are you? How long will it take for my iron levels to go up after starting an iron supplement? And you look beautiful. Oh, thanks. It depends. It depends on how low your levels were to begin with. If you've looked at ferritin, you've looked at iron, and you've looked at TIBC, and they're really, really, really low, depending on the type of iron you're taking, it could take a few months to get it up to where it needs to go, but it should be a linear progression. So most people, even if their levels haven't come up, like if their ferritin's still low, but they're taking it every day, they tend to feel better within a couple weeks. But the levels may not go up to full, may not resolve for many months. So if you're starting to feel better, starting to feel a little bit more alert, starting to feel like maybe you're getting a little bit more nutrition in you, not quite as tired, that's a good sign. But you do have to maintain it for quite some period of time. Assuming you're taking a good quality iron. I think maybe you were the one that asked me last week about that when I talked about plant-based iron supplements. So depending on where you're at, weeks to months. Yeah? Okay. What is good to treat hay fever? Like allergies. Oh, yeah. First of all, Greg, I do have an article on drpingle.com in regards to allergies, so check that out. I really like some of the just normal standbys, guys, okay? Really good diet, no dairy. Dairy will make allergies worse every single time. Throw cheese at me if you want. I'm telling you, it will. So, clean diet, very clean diet. Lots of vegetables, nuts, seeds. Fruits are okay, no dairy, okay? And then things like NAC, N-acetylcysteine, has great impact. Quercetin has fantastic impact on allergies. That's something that's naturally found in garlic and onion, but they make it into a tablet. Good vitamin C, nice quality vitamin C, zinc, some of the same recommendations that you would be advised for immune function, just to keep a healthy immune system, are also great for allergies and hay fever. There are many others. That's kind of right off the top of my head of what I would say on a whole I see more people taking. Some do bromelain. That's kind of hit or miss in my patient database. 50% say yeah, other 50% are like, So yeah, those are a couple. And I do have an article, so check it out. Deal? All right. Okay, mom, 70 years young. Yes. Taking calcium and magnesium for bone density, which magnesium is best? Magnesium glycinate, magnesium orotate's okay. I would say magnesium glycinate, but also calcium isn't really a deficiency in America, guys. It's really not. Like everything's fortified with calcium. Calcium's in everything. So don't go overboard on the calcium. I would spend more time looking at, is she on a good magnesium? Is she taking the minerals, like the things that actually improve bone density? Would be really important here. Exercise. I know she's 70, but she's 70 years young. So walking, Pilates, yoga, those are fantastic. By the way, I take Pilates a couple times a week with women that are significantly older than I am, and they kick my butt. I mean, they are like upside down. They're doing the splits. I mean, it blows me away, and it gives me something to look forward to, I guess. So they can definitely do it with the right support. My total mineral isn't bad. I have quite a few patients whose bone density has improved by using my total mineral, and you can look at that at Total Health Apothecary. You would add magnesium to that, though. This is more a mineral for just generalized health, bone health, those types of things. So magnesium glycinate. Great question. Great question. I do also, I believe I have an article on that as well at drpingle.com, so check that out. Just started experiencing eczema. Oh, do you eat dairy? Toss it out. Dairy number one, almost always. I see a reduction in eczema, and I don't have a peer-reviewed study to quote, but I would say clinically 98 to 99% of my clients that have eczema, when they remove dairy, their eczema is improved. Gluten, often culprit. Could also be soy, egg, and lastly corn. So definitely want to make sure you have a good gut flora. Probiotics, really important. Welcome to check out my Total Probiotic. It has Saccharomyces boulardii in it, which is a little bit different than many of the probiotics in the market because it helps with the leaky gut type scenario. So if we're talking eczema, psoriasis, rashes, acne, any type of skin manifestation, you have to consider that's the body trying to detox something out. It's a reaction of our lymphatic system, our detoxification system, pushing things out through the skin. So you always want to look to your gut flora and what you're eating. Like that, number one, you got to look at that with any skin condition. So I would try to do more investigation with that, maybe ask your doctor further about that, get further testing, but those are kind of my quick suggestions. And I want to say, I have an article on that as well with even more detail, but let me Google it. I don't remember. I feel like I do. It might be in the allergy article, honestly. I remember writing about it, but sometimes I don't remember like where I wrote it. If it was an interview I did or if I wrote it. So yeah, but do check out the website. I'm pretty certain I have it on there somewhere, and if I find it, I'll link it back to you. Cool. I see more questions coming through on Instagram. Bear with me. I gotta look over to Facebook too, my friends over here. Foods and supplements to help with Epstein-Barr virus. Yeah, great question. You know, Epstein-Barr virus is incredibly common. Many of you have had it. You don't know you've had it. And it lays dormant. And then during times of stress, it raises its weary head there. So some of the things to pay attention to when we talk about foods and supplements is paying attention to stress response. What are the things that help with stress response? B vitamins, methylated B vitamins, vitamin C, good minerals. You know, you can use herbs like ashwagandha, ginseng, bacopa, L-theanine. These are amino acids such as L-theanine, phosphatidylserine, anything that has to do with adrenal support. And definitely I have articles on that. I mean, that's what I specialize in, right? So check that out. It's everywhere. It's all over my website. And my supplement lines are very, very adrenal focused. But definitely want to support the adrenal glands. As far as foods, a lot of those foods go along the same line. I mean, we want to be eating a lot of, I say it all the time. Do I sound like a broken record? Vegetables, nuts, seeds, water, fruit. Vegetables, nuts, seeds, water, fruit. Vegetables, nuts, seeds, water, fruit. Lots of veggies. Lots and lots and lots and lots of veggies, okay? That's what I want. Deal? I do have tons of info on that. Epstein-Barr also, just so you know, clinically, with some of my clients, many of my clients that have had Epstein-Barr rear its head, if you're in a state where you have the ability to see a doctor for nutritional IV therapy, like Myers cocktails, traditional IV Myers cocktails, they do wonders on Epstein-Barr. I've seen some of my best results from nutritional IV therapy. And, that makes sense because, what are the nutrients that are impacted by stress? What are the nutrients that are impacted by viruses? You're looking at the same ones. You're looking at the minerals and you're looking at the vitamin C and the Bs, and that's what's in these IVs. So it gets in there faster. So, yeah, I would say if you have that around there, around your area, check that out for sure. Thanks, Bill. Bill says, great show today. All right. Good. Good. All right, my dad is complaining of severe achy pain to bilateral knees. Okay, number one, keep in mind that the knees are connected to the hips and connected to the feet, connected to the spine, like we're all connected. So sometimes the knees are taking pressure from other areas. So I don't know what his weight is or how active he is, but sometimes that plays a role on causing imbalances in the hips, which causes imbalances and pressure on the knees. I've also seen it come up from the bottom where the feet are malaligned, or people walk like this or they walk like this, right? And then that brings the pain up to the knees. So I think first thing I would say is you probably should get some x-rays or imaging. Even if you think it might be injured, then you'd go more MRI, but get an idea of the structure of the knee. See someone who understands the structure of the body. Might be a physical therapist. I know many chiropractors that are very good at seeing that. I know some that aren't. They just look right at the knee and that's it. My advice is if you go into a doctor and they're only looking at the knee, we need to find somebody else who also looks at the rest of the body, how they walk, their gait, their shoes, all those types of things. Anyone who is an athlete probably knows what I'm talking about, right? You go in, you get a pair of tennis shoes, and it takes you like 3 hours to get them because they have you walk, and then they have you try them on, and then they have you walk again, and then they watch the way you move on your shoes, right? These little things are so important. Shoes are so important. So that would kind of be my suggestion is where to start. Make sure we're looking at the whole body, okay? And make sure there's no acute injury in there, right? Really important. You're so welcome, Nessie. Good morning. What supplements do I recommend for arthritis? Same diet I just recommended. I do sound like a broken record today. But also, lots of great studies on curcumin or turmeric. My private line, I went with a whole turmeric plant versus just the curcuminoids because there's a lot of additional benefit in the turmeric to the immune system, the joints and such, as they're finding in addition to those curcuminoids. So I really like to use turmeric. Essential fatty acids, so fish oils in high dose have great impact to that. Now, is that going to reverse the arthritis? I don't know. It takes the inflammation down, right? So depending on the source of the arthritis, it could. Now, if it's a bone-on-bone knee or something and there's no cushion in there, it's going to continue to rub, right? So it's going to continue to have pain. So those will take down the inflammation, but then there's also other injectable type therapies that I don't do personally just because when you come out of naturopathic medical school, you've learned so many disciplines. I mean, we learn so many disciplines. And so you kind of have to navigate where do you want to spend the majority of your time. So I refer out for this type of thing, but things like prolotherapy, PRP injection, they can put hyaluronic acid in the joint space, things like that. Those are also other therapies that might want to be considered. Yeah? All right. Can you recommend any vitamins for joint pain inflammations? Well, hey, we were just on the same wavelength between Facebook and Instagram. I think I just answered your question. Yeah, if not, let me know. You guys are on the same wavelength today. How are all of you? Doing well? You ready for Labor Day? As I said, I'm baffled that it's September, like in a couple days. I'm like totally baffled, but that's okay. Okay, I have had so much stress these past 2 months, 2 major deaths, and my hair started falling out. Do you have any recommendations to help? Yes. First of all, I'm sorry. I do understand what you're going through. And, I think I lost so much hair after my mom died. Like, literally, like there was nothing right here. This is all it's still regrowing, and it's been 5 years, right? Stress is a major cause of hair loss, guys, and it's one that almost is never looked at. Hair loss, we always look to, all these minerals, which are great because stress depletes minerals, okay? So all these mineral supplements are great for that. Stress response type supplements, which I spoke about earlier even. And you can definitely check out totalhealthapothecary.com. I have a ton of adrenal stress-based supplements on there, but those types of things for long-term, really important. Also to look at that stress response, just the cortisol alone can cause hair loss, okay? Just that alone. But then that also causes nutrient deficiency. So you might need to look more closely as to, are we just dealing with the stress response, or are we also dealing with subsequent nutrient deficiency? And then make sure you treat that. Grief is a tough one. And the first article I wrote on drpingle.com, if you scroll to like page 1, the first article I wrote was about grief, because that's why I'm here. For those of you that don't know me very well, I'm here because of the grief I endured that prompted me to really look inside my soul and say, what am I here to do on this earth? Why am I here? Right? Our lives could end tomorrow. So I wrote my first article, and maybe it'll have some tips in there for you as well. I haven't read it in a while. It makes me very emotional when I read it, because I was sitting at a coffee shop and I said, okay, I have to write a first blog post. What am I going to do? And I got like this overwhelming urge to just start writing about grief, and I don't know why, and I think I cried through the whole thing, but I made it through it, and I posted it, so maybe there's some stuff in there as well, because it's hard, but much love to you. Much love. You will get through it. Your hair will grow back, but it does take, just so you guys know, in any hair loss scenario, once you've repaired the cause, let's say that the cause was low iron, or the cause was stress, or the cause was whatever. Once you've repaired that, it can take up to 6 months before it starts to regrow. So you have to have a lot of patience in that, and that's the part that is the worst, is waiting. Nobody likes to wait. But yeah, I hope that helps. Much love to you, my dear. You're welcome. Any remedies for gallstones? Gallstones is a tough one because it kind of depends on the progression of them. I try to prevent them more so by making sure that the digestion of fats is working really well. Now, after you have the gallstone, I still see some value at that. I haven't always seen it reduce it though. So digestive enzymes, particularly ones, I usually have to use ones with hydrochloric acid in them, and they definitely need to have a really potent lipase. So you need to be able to break down fat a little bit more effectively. So basically what you're doing is you're putting in more pancreatic enzymes to make up for the deficiency of the gallbladder. Because the gallbladder, what it does is it concentrates bile. So it decides how much bile are we going to move into the stomach to break things down. So when it has a stone, if it has a stone blocking it, you have a problem breaking down fats. If you have a problem breaking down fats, if you're eating fats and the gallbladder's trying to send bile and it's being blocked by a stone, that bile sits in the gallbladder and causes more stone, right? Because it can't get through as efficiently. So if you're providing more support for the digestion on the other side, on the pancreatic side, and getting lipase in that way, it often reduces the need for the gallbladder to really pump a bunch of bile through. So that's kind of the theory behind it. Does it reduce the gallstone? Not always, but it can often help prevent further aggravation of the gallstone. Sometimes the gallstone simply has to be removed. I mean, sometimes it just does. And then I always suggest, or the gallbladder need to be removed. I always suggest anyone who's had their gallbladder out, use digestive enzymes, please. You may not know it now, but a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're gonna wish you did. So just do it. Deal? Did I write an article on that? I don't know. You can check that one out. Hope that helps, really. Okay. I see a bunch. You guys are flying today. Let's see. I got to keep up with you, all of you. If someone has low glucose, okay, so hypoglycemia, okay, what supplements will help raise glucose? and what herbal teas to drink and what to avoid. Yeah, I know you're saying cinnamon lowers glucose and you should avoid it. That's not true. Cinnamon doesn't lower glucose. Do you guys know how cinnamon works? Cinnamon improves the efficacy of your insulin. There's a difference. Chamomile and ginger are fine. Raising glucose levels really, in my opinion, comes down more to diet. I mean, if you're hypoglycemic, we need to look at why. Like I said, managing the insulin or herbs that impact insulin won't necessarily raise the glucose. It depends on the mechanism as to why the glucose is so low in the first place. Often I find that either people aren't breaking down the nutrients of their food well, or they're not eating often enough. But if there's no underlying pathology and you're asking how to raise you're having moments of hypoglycemia, keep in mind that stress can cause that. So definitely look at adrenals. Why? Because when you pump out cortisol, you pump out insulin. Insulin then, has an impact on the blood sugar, which can drop it, right? And then over time, if that's chronic, that actually raises the glucose over time. So actually diabetes is very much a stress-mediated disease, but in the interim, in the very beginning, it causes a lot of dips in glucose. And the reason why that eventually causes high glucose is that the liver kicks in and starts pumping out additional glucose via gluconeogenesis. So it basically says, okay, this lady's been spending too much time in low glucose. Now I'm taking it into my own hands and I'm going to make her more glucose. So it's very, very important to make sure you're still eating regularly. Otherwise, your body will actually do the opposite. You will start to raise your glucose, but it'll go too high. That's a lot of biochemistry in about 25 seconds. Did you follow me there? So I would say, really watch that diet. Make sure you're putting foods in there that give you good glucose control. And that's combining protein with fats with carbohydrates. And definitely not simple carbohydrates. I would definitely look more to complex carbohydrates. I love quinoa. I love brown rice. I love millet. Sweet potatoes, butternut squash, colorful, starchy type vegetables are okay. But doing things like that on a more regular basis in combinations with nuts, seeds, proteins, which can be plant-based proteins or meat-based proteins based on your individual diet. I hope that helps, Susan. But yeah, I don't think cinnamon needs to be necessarily avoided. I mean, I don't know your health history, so maybe you're way, 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 way low, and I haven't seen that to be the case in the general population, though, with hypoglycemia. Regarding digestive enzymes, I was told not to take daily. I don't know why the doctor said that. I don't know either. Ask him. I mean, if someone says take something or don't say something, they should tell you why. I've had trouble finding natural mascara that stays on well. Your eyes look so pretty. Oh, thanks. I'm not wearing a natural one today. I had one, though. I might have to get back to you on that. I can't remember. Anyone have one? I also have ridiculously long dark lashes to begin with, so I can even use clear and it doesn't, and it looks about the same. My dad had these awesome long beautiful lashes, and he literally had some of those beautiful eyes I've ever seen, and my sons both got both of our long lashes as well, right? Guys get it, don't they? Makes sense about glucose levels. Person got blood work done middle of the afternoon and only had eaten an apple that morning. Oh, well, yeah, right? You got to eat. You get in such a society of like weight loss and don't eat and fast and all of this. And granted, there's some necessity in that, but we do need fuel to run. You don't get in your car and drive without gas, Okay, how's my time? Okay. If you take magnesium glycinate in addition to multivitamin, should you also take a calcium supplement? Are you just talking in general? No condition, just overall? I don't regularly prescribe additional calcium in general because I feel that most of us, when I review the diet, I review their lifestyle, I find that calcium is not really the issue. Now, I've seen cases of hypocalcemia where, yes, I would. Right? So I think we have to look at the entire picture here. I can't really give a blanket answer, but I would say the majority of people that are generally healthy, that are just looking at bone health, calcium is not usually the deficiency. if that helps. What's my favorite digestive enzyme? Orthomolecular. The company's Orthomolecular. And it's called Orthodigestimes. That's my favorite. They also make one called Digestime V that does not have the hydrochloric acid in it. But I love their digestive enzymes. Close second, I'd probably go to Pharmax or Thorne. But to be honest, I really, really like the Orthomolecular. That's my favorite one. Should I be concerned of occasional blood pressure readings between both arms? The difference between both arms, they should be different. So be consistent on the one that you check. Different readings between, yeah, they should be different. Think of the heart, right? It's a circle. So the blood going out versus the blood coming in, they should be different. So that's okay. Is it okay to take vitamin D after supper before bed? Another Facebook doctor says it helps people sleep. Yeah, I take mine at night because I remember. Vitamin D, now, granted, if you take it at night and you find that your levels are not increasing when you have them checked, you may need to move it with food. It is a fat-soluble vitamin. The general rule of thumb is if it's a fat-soluble vitamin, it should go with food. However, I don't always find that to be absolute. Many people take it away from food and their levels go up. So as long as we're getting the physiological result, the impact from it, I'm cool with that. I take mine at night. I don't know if it helps me sleep, but I take a lot of things that kind of, lean towards sleep. Pacifica Mascara. There you go. Try Pacifica Mascara. I'll try it too. Thank you, Eve Marie. I appreciate it. We all got to work together, right? I really don't like putting chemicals on my face at all, and I very rarely do, but every so often if I have something, an interview or something I have to do and I'm getting dressed, I got to put some mascara on. But in general, my everyday life, I don't really wear much. But today's one of those days I kind of had to pull myself together. Gallbladder's been gone for 5 years. All right, Bill, time to put some enzymes in. All right, wow, lots of you here joining on Instagram. Hello, happy Friday. I think I'm way behind you guys on my scroll. You guys are like fast. H. pylori remedies. H. pylori is a tough one, okay? Because depending on how long you've had it, depending on the situation, just so you guys know, H. pylori is essentially a bug that naturally lives in our system, but when it overgrows can cause a lot of problems, ulcers, heartburn, that type of thing. Very, very prevalent, not very well tested. A lot of doctors don't think about it. They just automatically treat and they don't think about the H. pylori. H. pylori, I've had to treat with the conventional protocol, and I've treated with the natural protocol. Depending on the case, I've had success with both, for sure. So conventional protocol typically is an antacid, basically Pepto-Bismol, and 2 different antibiotics. I usually don't start with that. I usually try to go the natural route first if I can, which typically involves cinnamon, garlic, sometimes berberine. I've used oregano, as well as anti-inflammatory herbs, slippery elm, marshmallow root, amino acids like glutamine, as well as digestive enzymes. Sometimes I've still had to use the acid blocker. So that's a tough one. If you have a doctor who's well versed in it though, and can help you work through what's going to work, you usually can get past it. Yeah, it's a bummer, man. I don't have an article on that one yet because it's so hard to write about because everyone's so different. It's like I have to pick articles that are interesting, but then I also need to write something that I can give a general recommendation on. That one's a tough one. It likes to come back. Ultimately, once you get through it though, make sure you're watching your gut flora. Probiotics, right? Got to keep on top of that. Okay. Am I familiar with violet supplements? I'm not. It's a daily iodine supplement given to help major breast tenderness during cycle time. Why is that? What's going on? There's a lot of data with iodine and breast tenderness and breast issues. Not something I've spent a ton of time using. I've definitely read about. Not recently, but definitely read about, definitely seen, definitely heard of. So off the top of my head here on this impromptu Q&A, I cannot remember the mechanism, but yes, it's actually done quite regularly. And I have no doubt that PubMed probably has quite a bit of information on this. Iodine's one I use very carefully. I see a ton of thyroid disorders, a ton of Hashimoto's, a ton of subclinical hypothyroidism, and sometimes iodine when I'm treating the thyroid isn't always beneficial. I know a lot of people think iodine for the thyroid, not always. So it's not one that I, in my practice, spend a ton of time using for therapies. So yeah, I don't have a huge awesome answer for you on that one, but I can tell you with confidence that yes, it's used quite regularly for that type of issue. So hello. Hi, Dr. Pingle. Hi, Dr. Pingle. Hello. Good morning. Susan, last question, you swear. Ha 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 ha. Can cinnamon cause heart palpitations? I mean, not regularly, but if you're allergic to it, I suppose. If a person does not sleep well, what would you recommend? I'm almost 62 and do not sleep very well. Wake up early. Any advice would help. Yeah, I write about this a lot, Jamie. I mean, a lot. And I could spend all day talking about it, but I think I did a focused live on it. And I think it's embedded in the article on insomnia. Hang on, I'm going to look up the name so you can... And then after that, I wrote an article originally on insomnia in general, and then wrote one on how to, nighttime routines for insomnia, different essential oils you can use, different herbal therapies for insomnia. So I actually have quite a lot. I can run off a list if you have a pen very quickly. Things like, and definitely talk to your doctor first, okay? Because I don't know your health history, okay? So I'm just telling you some of the things that I discuss in some of these articles if you want to look into them and talk to your doctor about it. Phosphatidylserine is a big one. L-theanine, valerian, passiflora, lavender, both in essential oil and in just the raw herb. Lots of routines are very important. Routines through the day, routines in the end. Figuring out if you might have an adrenal fatigue is a really important thing, because if your cortisol rhythms are off, you have to also do therapy during the day. Regular exercise can make a huge difference as well. I think I'm trying to figure out where all of them pull up. If you go to drpingle.com and you type in sleep, you will get a lot of them. Yeah, type in sleep. Don't type insomnia. Type sleep in the search bar. Okay? Okay. Hello. Gosh, lots of you out there today. Hey! I developed a kidney stone while on vacation. I assume you mean a kidney stone. He says I developed a kidney, but I'm going to go with kidney stone. On vacation, it's the worst. Can labs examine the stone to find out what to do in the future? Yes. Catch that stone. Definitely. You want to look at the stone directly, most likely. That's the best way to do it. Okay? Stone. All right. Have I ever used organic digestive aids like pineapple, dandelion, or milk thistle? Way cheaper route compared to the pill bottle. Yes. So as far as a replacement in digestive enzymes, I have. However, if you don't have a gallbladder or you have a gallstone, none of those contain lipase, which is what breaks down the fat. Okay, so many of the digestive enzymes will have bromelain, papain. Many of them will have dandelion and other digestive bitters, which I love. Okay, I do love bitters. What bitters do, and you can eat these in foods, and I absolutely have articles on those. I have a great article on dandelion at drpingle.com. I even found it fascinating, the research. I was like, wow, God, this is just amazing. Arugula, all those bitter greens can be really helpful, but what they do is they stimulate your natural gastric juices. Great for most people. However, if you have a gallstone and it stimulates bile and your gallbladder is trying to push the bile out, that could cause a problem as well if you have a stone. So bitters are fantastic for the majority of the people. With gallstones, sometimes I have to use the capsule because I need the lipase, if that makes sense. But yeah, absolutely love pineapple, dandelion, milk thistle. I personally take a blend every night of a liver support that contains all of that. Because I feel at night when we're sleeping, the traditional Chinese medicine says your liver works at night to clear out the garbage, to give you a clean, empty basket for your day. And I 100% agree with that. So you're welcome. All right, guys, we're wrapping up. Anything else before I go? You guys have been awesome today. Great Q&A session. For those of you that missed it, I am going to be out of town next Friday, and I don't know exactly where I'm going to be. Like, I don't know exactly if I'll be able to tap into a live. It might be a little bit shorter. At the very least, I will post something, either an old live, maybe I'll post the one on Dandelion, or on sleep. But I will post something if I'm not live. Okay? Learned a lot today. Thank you. Well, you're welcome, Bill. Thanks for being here. For all of you that show up every week, by the way, thank you. Thank you. It's nice to see you guys. I feel like I get to know you. It's so cool. And for those of you that are brand new here, I'm Dr. Tricia Pingle. Check out drpingle.com for more recipes, articles. There's a search function, search away, share with friends. If this was helpful to you today, if I answered good questions, share it. Let's get more people in the conversation, okay? The one on sleep. Hey, Nessie, if that's the one I don't end up posting, if you go to drpingle.com and you type in sleep, I think it's nested in cause of sleepness. Yes, it is. The article that's called Causes of Sleeplessness has a live embedded in it that's all about sleeplessness. So if you're looking for a live, I try to put them in my articles at some point. So check that one out, okay? All right, you guys have been great. Gretchen, I shared Total Health Apothecary with lots of friends, family, and social media. Love your info. You're the best. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Really, truly. You guys, I'm still here because you're still here. As soon as you guys don't show up, I won't be here anymore, right? So, yeah, Jamie Gaba is another one. Yeah, there's a lot of info on that in the article as well. So you guys keep me here, and I'm really thankful to have you all. So go enjoy your great weekend. And I will see you guys hopefully next week, definitely the week after that, but I will keep my story posted. So look at my stories and you'll know if I'm going live. I try to post it on Thursday so that you guys know when I'm going live. And if for some reason I can't get off the beach to come chat with you all next week, I will put something up here in my place, okay? So thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.